Hey, welcome back everyone. And before we get to round 7, we see another cutscene. Isn't that what he said the last time he spoke to Felix? Oh well, it's off to round 7. And bad news right off the bat, it's the same wonderful music that we heard at the beginning of round 6. And also like round 6, we're in an ice world. Which, speaking of being in an ice world, speaking of how bad the music is, I don't think it quite fits this world. And right there, the biggest thing you have to watch out in this level is to watch out for those giant snowballs. You can defeat them with your weapon, but it's all about anticipating where they're gonna bounce or where they're gonna go. So throughout this level, you're gonna have to keep an eye out on them. Which I really shouldn't say about all the enemies, because they're really no different from what you've seen before in this game, so... No, I didn't even notice it was snowing in the background. That's pretty cool. Which you could argue that since it's a 1992 game, that backgrounds could be animated like that. It showed a little bit of good graphics, but I don't know. I like them. Yeah, like I said before, the key here is to be patient. You know, don't try to rush this, or else you're gonna find yourself in a sticky predicament. And for this being a later stage of the game, I would have expected this to be more challenging than what it is, which you could argue it does have its tricky moments, but I really don't think it's all that much harder than what we've seen before in this game. Which I think is kind of odd considering there's 2 more rounds after this, rounds 8 and 9. Yeah, I don't think this round would be as bad if it wasn't for this music. Oh, it's pretty cool there's a big bag out in the open like that so you can get Felix heads. I'll take it. As you can tell, there really isn't anything I can say much about at least this first stage here. I know when I was playing this, it was kind of very dull. Which isn't as dull as the dolphin stage that was in the last round, but still, it's dull enough to be almost in a borderline inanity. As you see there, I kind of rushed it there, and that's the penalty you pay for trying to rush it. Which past me needs to learn to quit being so hasty. It's a good thing you can blast the snowballs with whatever weapon you're using. I think that's pretty good. Kind of takes away from the challenging a little bit, which you'll find out in round 9 there's going to be obstacles very similar to that aren't destructible, which could argue that that's why they made them destructible in this one, like the snowballs and that, but oh well. Which now, this part of the round I'm guessing is some kind of ice cave. Because you don't see like it's snowing or anything like that. It looks like ice in the background. So I'm guessing this is some kind of ice cave or something, some kind of subterranean something or other. But yeah, those bats are really irritating. So make sure you keep your eyes out for that. Like I almost got hit there a few seconds ago. I know I keep on complaining about the music, but they really could have came up with something different for this. Especially if you were in like this cavernous area, you think they could have changed up the tune a bit. I don't know, maybe there's just, I don't know if they ran out of a memory or something, they only had so many songs to deal with or what, but yeah. And I thought that was really cheap too, you know, I was just going in there and that's when I ran out of energy in my tanks. Sometimes that will happen to you, but luckily for me I did go in that large bag right there, so I was able to get my tank back, but at the same time I should have got an extra life there, so I thought that was kind of cruel on the game's part, but after all, it is a game, and, you know, that is to be expected, you get tough breaks like that, but it's all no matter how you deal with them. As you can see here, this spells Felix, which I think is pretty neat. Of course, though, I had to take care of that bat right away so he wouldn't hit me. And here's the boss of round 7. I almost forgot what round I was playing. And it's the same boss that was in round 1, and he is just as pathetic now as what he was back then. Except this time he's trying to throw snowballs at you, which all you need to do is just shoot him with a tank or whatever weapon you're using. He's really not that hard. There you go, tally those points. But yeah, that's... Now, in my next video will be round 8, which I think is the toughest round in the game, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.